Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
11 BIFF rebels surrender, pledge peace in Maguindanao. Philippine Army vows to intervene if Moro clans fail to end Rido in Maguindanao del Sur. 20 peso per kilo rise and wage hike among top issues supported by Filipinos according to Publico survey. Habagat to drench more areas. Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Thursday, July 10, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Ralph Susan Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, 11 former members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, all previously listed as priority targets, voluntarily surrendered to 98th Infantry Battalion in Maguindanao del Sur. Along with their surrender, they returned over 12 high-powered firearms, expressing their genuine desire to abandon violence and start anew. They are set to be presented at the 19th IB headquarters in Barangay Cabengi, Datu, Saudi Ampatuan. The surrender was a result of sustained military engagement and community outreach, which helped build trust and encourage the rebels to return to the fold of the law.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Also, a former member of the communist terrorist group voluntarily surrendered to authorities in Barangay Sampaloc, San Rafael, Bulacan, carrying an unlicensed firearm. The surrenderer, identified as Ray, a 47-year-old construction worker from Doña Remedios, Trinidad, was a former member of KLG Sierra Madre Squad Uno and had been on the PSR list since 2001. According to Police Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie Albino, the force commander of the 2nd Provincial Mobile Force Company, Ray revealed he was recruited in 1997 under a leader known as Jimmy due to extreme poverty. He took part in encounters in Sapang Munti in Bulacan, Bulacan, and served as air collector of a revolutionary tax before leaving the group in 2002 to live a peaceful life with his family. The surrender was made possible through the coordination of multiple units.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Jimboy about 12 IB promotes unity and peace in Iloilo Community Forum.
The 12th Infantry Battalion joined the Community Awareness, Peace and Law Enforcement Support Program at the covered chim of Barangay Nueva Sevilla, Barotac, Viejo, Iloilo. The event, held in partnership with local and national agencies, aimed to raise awareness on the importance of unity and cooperation in building lasting peace. The program fostered dialogue between government and community members and emphasized a whole-of-a-nation approach to reconciliation and exclusive development. The 12 IB reaffirmed its commitment in supporting grassroots peace-building effort in conflict-affected areas. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Army has warned it will step in if 6 Moro groups fail to resolve their clan feud or Rido in Maguindanao del Sur following the renewed violence that displaced about 70 families over the weekend. Although the displaced residents have returned home, tensions flared again between two groups in Raha, Boayan town. Armed men reportedly fired at responding soldiers from the 33rd Infantry Battalion, who were sent to de-escalate the situation. Army spokesperson Colonel Louis de Maala said they are closely monitoring the situation and are committed to peaceful measures in line with the ongoing peace process with the MILF. However, he stressed that the Army will not hesitate to act if civilian safety is threatened.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Lieutenant Colonel Jimrick Obias, the commander officer of the 103rd Infantry Battalion based in Pinokpo, Kalinga, announced that the Army is currently processing documents for peace-related efforts in the province. He said there are still 16 active New People's Army members in Kalinga, but they remain mobile and have not affected any barangays. He noted that 80% of their operations now focus on community-based support programs, with only 20% dedicated to combat, emphasizing the military's role in rural development. Lieutenant Colonel Bias also called on remaining NPA members to surrender and return to the fold of the law for their own safety and future.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne about National Security and Development Study brings MNSA RC61 to NOLCOM for Defense Posture Study.
The Northern Luzon Command welcomed delegates of the Master in National Security Administration Regular Course 61 or MNSA RC 61 on July 7, 2025 at Camp General Serviliano Aquino, San Miguel, Tarlac City as part of the National Security and Development Study or NSDS 2025 conducted by the National Defense College of the Philippines to enhance understanding of regional defense posture. The NSDS is a major component of the MNSA program which provides students exposure to key defense institutions and fosters strategic level discussions on national security and development. This year's study follows the theme Forging a Resilient Defense Posture, Strengthening National Security Through Military Capability and the Defense Industry in Central Luzon. The 64-member NDCP delegation includes 44 MNSA students composed of AFP officers, civilian government officials, private sector executives, and international military officers from Bangladesh, Indonesia, Republic of Korea, and Malaysia, along with 20 faculty and staff led by Dr. Alan A. Lachica, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean. The NOLCOM Command staff provided an operational briefing focused on the command's contributions to territorial defense, internal security, and humanitarian operations. The engagement included a forum to foster exchange of views on strategic defense challenges and capability development. The visit highlights NOLCOM's continuing support to national security, education, and policy development. This is John Sagaok reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Army, Akayan Group, Mikako, and the local government of Barangay Tawas, Bungabog, Mindoro united to deliver services to the Tau Buhid Mangyan community. Akayan distributed school supplies, hygiene kits, kitchen items, clothes, and shoes to 296 students of Tawas Elementary School with support from soldiers of the 1st Civil Military Operations Company and 76th Infantry Battalion. The event featured games for children and parents as well as information drives on the government's enhanced comprehensive local integration program to help former rebels reintegrate into society. The activity showcased the power of collaboration between civilian groups and the military in advancing inclusive development and peace.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the promise of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to lower the price of rice to 20 pesos per kilo and the proposed wage hike without the need of a bicameral conference committee are among the issues that resonated well with Filipinos. This is according to the latest survey conducted by Publicus Asia. The promise to lower the price of rice was the most supported national issue at 78%, followed by the wage increase at 58%. Meanwhile, the conduct of the first parliamentary election in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao parliamentary elections is at 55%.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Maljoy of First CRG about security stakeholders unite in Zambales to forge stronger partnerships.
Yes, Rolf, a security consultation meeting was held in Castillejo, Zambales to strengthen public and private security collaboration and promote lasting peace and security with the theme Bridging Gaps, Forging Partnership. The event was spearheaded by Brigadier General Cesar A. Molina, Philippine Army, commander of the 702nd Infantry Brigade, together with Colonel Charles D.C. Castillo, Philippine Army, the brigade's deputy commander, and Lieutenant Colonel Sonny G. Dunca, battalion commander of the 69th Cowgar Battalion 7th Infantry Division. Also present were Police Colonel Benjamin Ariola, Provincial Director of Zambales Police Provincial Office Zambales Police, Director Ulysses Untalan, Regional Director Nika 3, and representatives from different government agencies and stakeholders from the private security sector of critical infrastructures. Discussions focus on public safety, protection of critical infrastructure, and external threats, complemented by a collaborative framework to strengthen coordination among agencies. The event concluded with messages of support from Mayor Jeffrey Kunghan, Municipal Mayor Castillejos, Zambales Castillejos Local Government Unit, and Honorable Eric Matibag, Board Member and Chairman of the Committee on Peace and Order and Public Safety of Zambales, both emphasizing the importance of unity and sustained efforts in safeguarding the communities of Zambales. This is Meldrin Nesho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoyo, for CRG.
DWDD National News.
5 of the 21 Filipino seafarers manning the cargo vessel Eternity Sea, which sank in the Red Sea following a reported attack by Houthi rebels, have been rescued. Department of Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo Jose de Vega confirmed that the Liberia-flagged vessel has already sunk and rescue operations are ongoing for the remaining crew members. The DFA, meanwhile, has received reports of at least 2 fatalities, but De Vega did not confirm their nationality. The vessel was carrying 22 crew members, 21 Filipinos and 1 Russian, when it was allegedly struck by drones and rocket-propelled grenades launched by Iran-backed Houthi militants off the coast of Yemen.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Migrant Workers reminded ship owners to avoid high-risk war troubled areas following the incidents of vessels being hijacked by rebels in the Red Sea. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak reiterated the provisions of Department Order 1, Series of 2024 that ensures the protection of Filipino seafarers amid incidents of armed violence against ships passing through the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and surrounding areas. Kakdak also urged the ship owners and manning agencies to report the scheduled passage of ships to the Red Sea or Gulf of Aden and those Philippine seafarers on board to their welfare monitoring system. They also warned that failure to do so will risk sanctions under the DMW's rules and regulations against the manning agencies.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Leonor about Philippines Open's first ever Pacific Amphibious Leaders Symposium.
Philippines officially opened the Pacific Amphibious Leaders Symposium 2025 at Shangri-La the Fort Bonifacio Global City, led by Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. and Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo S. Browner Jr. Co-hosted by the Philippine Marine Corps and United States Marine Forces Pacific, PALS 25 gathered senior military leaders from 23 nations. The activity was under the theme Stronger Together, aiming to boost maritime cooperation and regional security. In their messages, Secretary Teodoro and key military leaders emphasized collective strength, trust building, and the vital role of marine forces in humanitarian and climate operations. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1FP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the 3 most pressing concerns that most Filipinos want President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to address are corruption, the economy, and inflation. This is based on the latest survey conducted by Publicos Asia. The survey revealed that 21% of those polled listed corruption as the top concern, followed by the economy and inflation. On the household level, the fear of not being able to afford basic commodities, needs, and avail of health services were the pressing concerns. On the other hand, difficulty in finding employment was the top concern of the young segment and the unemployed.
DWDD National News.
For our weather update, more areas are forecast to be affected by the southwest monsoon or habagat today. According to Pag-asa, Metro Manila, Batanes, Babuyan Islands, Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Occidental Mindoro, and Antique will experience occasional rains. Meanwhile, the Ilocos region, Cordillera Administrative Region, the Negros Island region, Zamboanga Peninsula, Barm, Soxargen, the rest of Vimaropa, the rest of Western Visayas, and also the mainland Cagayan, Tarlac, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Bulacan, Batangas, Rizal, and Laguna, and also the Davao Occidental will experience scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Moderate to heavy rains in those areas could result in flash floods or landslides.
Armed Forces Radio.
And more updates from Spencer Ross, 7030 Infantry Brigade sharpens shooting skills in annual marksmanship training.
Yes, ROF officers and troops of the 703rd Infantry Aguil Brigade, led by Brigadier General Eugenio Julio Ocias IV, participated in annual pistol marksmanship training at Aguila Firing Range, Barangay Calaanan, Bungaro, Nueva Ecija. The training aimed to boost the soldiers' pistol proficiency for close quarter battle scenarios. They also reinforced firearm safety, accuracy, and proper handling. Relatedly, Brigadier General Ocias emphasized that marksmanship is essential to mission success and a reflection of a soldier's discipline and commitment to protect the nation. This is Spencer reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, various universities, schools, religious institutions, private sector representatives, and civil society groups have issued a joint statement reaffirming their support for the K-12 program and calling for better implementation. The statement comes amid renewed calls to abolish the senior high school curriculum. In a manifesto posted by Ateneo de Manila University, they explained that the private sector recognizes the necessity of a qualified, competent, and competitive workforce for the continued development, growth, and competitiveness of the Philippine economy. This, in return, requires a strong basic education system to provide the fundamentals for a skilled workforce. The coalition emphasized that SHS is part of the solution, not the problem.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Justice explained that under Philippine criminal law, a conviction for murder is possible despite the absence of a victim's body. The statement comes amid continuing efforts to locate the remains of the missing Sabongeros. Justice Assistant Secretary and DOU spokesperson Jose Dominic Calavano IV said that under the criminal law, it is not absolutely necessary to find the body of the victim to prove the crime of murder. They also added that this legal principle is consistent within the doctrine of corpus delicti, which refers not to the body itself, but to the fact that a crime has been committed.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Solcom, let us hear from Jess about 96th IB celebrates 7th anniversary with community service and unity events in Masbate.
Yes, ROF, the 96th Infantry Ala Battalion Philippine Army celebrated its 7th founding anniversary on July 4, 2025 with a series of activities aimed at promoting peace, service, and unity. Highlights included a medical mission, sport fest, fun run, and fellowship bike ride for peace joined by a Philippine Army, PNP, Coast Guard, LGU, and partner stakeholders. This event brought public service and joy to the people of Mandaon and nearby areas. Brigadier General Randolph G. Cabangbang, Acting Commander of 9th Infantry Division, and Brigadier General Jose Rique Ilaniog of 903rd Infantry Brigade led the culminating event, and Masbate Governor Richard Tico also graced the occasion. Lieutenant Colonel Francis R. Espiritu, 96th Infantry Battalion Commander, thanked all the participants and emphasized that the success of the celebration reflects the unit's continued commitment to peace and development. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess from Solcom.
DWDD National News.
The number of pregnancies among girls ages 10 to 14 has been growing, according to the Commission on Population and Development. Data from 2023 civil registration and vital statistics revealed nearly 4,000 births in this age group, up 89% from 2,113 in 2020. The youngest recorded pregnancy involving a girl who was 8 years old at the time of conception. CPD Knowledge Management and Communications Division Chief Maylene Merasol Kiray said that the data speaks volumes about gaps in education, protection, and access to reproductive health services in the country. Kiray said while 78% of women ages 15 to 49 express a desire to manage their fertility and achieve their ideal family size, many remain unable to access modern family planning methods, leading to unintended pregnancies.
DWDD. National News.
The Department of Public Works and Highways is constructing a new facility to better serve and support the residents of the Haven for Women. It is a residential care facility in Alabang, Muntinlupa City that provides temporary shelter to women who are victims of gender-based violence. DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan said that civil works include a single-story multipurpose building project designed to provide the much-needed additional living space. The new building has been allocated 9.65 million for Phase 1 under 2025 General Appropriations Act.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Mike about Philippine Army leads wreath-laying to mark siege of Baler.
The Philippine Army led wreath-laying ceremony at San Luis Obispo Church in Baler, Aurora. It aims to commemorate the 127th anniversary of the siege of Baler and the 23rd Philippine-Spanish Friendship Day. Key officials including NHCP Chair Regalado Trota Jose Jr., Representative Romel Angara, Governor Renante Tolentino, Brigadier General Eugenio Julio Osayas IV, and Spanish Embassy Miguel Utrey Delgado joined the event hosted by the 91st Infantry Sinagtala Battalion. The ceremony honored Filipino resilience and celebrated enduring Philippine-Spanish friendship. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other hand, let us hear more from Beth Tañete about Philippine Army DOST NCR partner to enhance 3D printing capability.
The Philippine Army and Signal Regiment and DOST NCR formalized a partnership at Fort Bonifacio, Taguig City. It aims to boost the Army 3D printing capacity. The Army chief hailed the move as a major step toward technological self-reliance under the SRDP Revitalization Act. He also presides at the Signal Regiment Innovation and called the initiative a model for future modernization effort. This is Bethanyata reporting for the AFP Community News, 1 AFP for the stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Tañete.
DWDD. National News.
The fewer than 100 Filipinos residing in Kerrville City are safe following the flooding that ripped through central Texas last week. The Department of Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo Jose de Vega said that they have not received any reports of Filipino nationals among the casualties or those adversely affected by the calamity. He said there are fewer than 100 Filipinos living in the flood-ravaged Kerrville. De Vega added that the Philippine Consulate General in Houston has reached out to local authorities and leaders of the Philippine American community in Kerrville and the nearby cities of Austin and San Antonio to monitor developments and to obtain any further information on potentially affected Filipinos.
DWDD. Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rolf Susan Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino. Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM Balita